Sharif Cooper is on a mission. So this was not supposed to be my Thursday upload, like I promise it wasn't. I was literally in the middle of creating a different video for today. However, Sharif Cooper decided to one-up his amazing college debut with basically a 30-point double-double in a win against Georgia in just his second game. And so here I am, but this isn't a video I'm just trying to get out to praise Sharif for playing well. I mean, no, he is playing well, but there's a pattern between his first two games that I've noticed, and it's allowing him to be so effective as just a 6-foot guard. And today, I'm going to bring some attention to it because he's going out there and dropping 25 plus like it's nothing. It's easy for him. And that's something I doubt anyone thought he would be doing this year. And if you did, then kudos to you. But I refuse to believe anyone thought he would be doing it this early, like first two games early. And it's just clear Sharif is on a mission. He's playing like 11 games were stolen from him by the NCAA, which it was. Anyway, before I go further, what's good YouTube? Plug Speaks back with a vid. If you are new, welcome to the channel and subscribe. If you are loving the Sharif show, then like this up and turn on notice. I upload 3 to 4 times a week, and right now we are grinding to hit 5K by March, so I for sure appreciate it. But back to the vid though. So between Sharif Cooper's first two games, he has scored 54 points and is averaging 27 points per game, which is a very high scoring total clearly. But what if I told you within those 54 points, he has made just one three-pointer? Yes, you heard that right. Not a few threes, not even 2 threes, just one three-pointer. And that's very odd considering he is a guard. They usually rely heavily on shooting, especially small guards. However, Sharif is pretty much getting all his points off drives into the paint, acrobatic layups, and just his very high finishing ability. But he's also getting a ton of his points off a clever tactic of his, which is the way he attacks the paint and the award he often gets out of it. And if you don't understand what I'm trying to say right now, let me just straight up say it's his ability to get to the free throw line. See, between Sharif's first two games, he averages 11 free throw attempts per game. But on top of that, 19 of his 54 points scored this season have came off of free throws. And you may wonder why I'm hyping up this one detail or why I seem so interested in free throws. They're just free throws, but that's because Sharif is not getting to the line by accident. There's a variety of smart things he does to draw these fouls, and as a small guard, it's one of the best things you can do for yourself to become a huge scoring threat without even having to make that many actual shots. And we're gonna get into a few of the clever strategies Sharif has done, but before we do, let me bring up some examples in the league so y'all know I'm not just spitting out nonsense. So smaller guys in the NBA that have had success in scoring the ball. Well, one example is Isaiah Thomas, who stands at 5'9", and his NBA career is a little shaky right now, but when he was in his prime playing for the Boston Celtics and averaging nearly 30 in the 2017 NBA season, he shot a career high 8.5 free throw attempts per game and made 90% of them. And now what does that show? Well, it's simple. It shows that his most success as a scorer came when he was able to draw the most fouls and knock them down, not when he could attempt the most shots and knock them down. And although he did shoot well that season from the field and from three, I credit most of his scoring to his ability to get to the line. But moving on to another example, that man CP3, Chris Paul, had his highest scoring season a long time ago in New Orleans when he averaged 23 points per game. And in that season, he also averaged his highest free throw attempts to date, which was 6.7, and he made 86% of them. By the way, he only attempted 2 threes a game that year, and it was still his highest scoring year. So yeah, I mean, I could go on with more examples, but I'm sure you guys get the point. Sharif Cooper is going out there scoring like he's 6'8" or 6'9" without even hitting that many threes, because he is able to get to the line. And there are a bunch of strategies and habits he uses to do this, but the first one I want to cover is simple. Matter of fact, it's so simple that you could consider it common sense. Sharif Cooper is aggressive in his drives to the basket. Like, he does not shy away from contact at all. I'd even say that more times than not, he wants his defender to come at him reckless because he knows his layup package is deep enough to finish and get the and one anyway. So yeah, like I said, it's simple, but you cannot look over it because it's not that easy to do this. And if you compare his body frame during his senior year of high school to what he looks like now, he definitely put on a good amount of muscle, and you can see it in his play when he attacks the paint without a care in the world for who was in there. And what is so great about this and his aggressiveness is that you can't even say that this won't work in the NBA, because even when the inside defense becomes tougher, he will still draw the foul more times than not. I promise you he will. But onto another strategy or habit he uses. When he is driving towards the basket, Sharif does well to sell the contact a little. And you can call it flopping if you want, but I won't, because he's not completely acting out like Marcus Smart or James Harden, but instead he's just selling the contact a little. For example, if he's driving and the defender is right on him and there is some real contact, he'll do a little head bob to just exaggerate the contact. And he honestly does it a lot. Just watch his highlights of last night's game and you'll see. Due to copyright, I can't put it in this actual video, but yeah, Sharif does well to, just sell the contact a little, and the refs call it basically every time, so you can't even be mad at him. Gotta abuse the rules the best you can. But on to another strategy. Sharif is a master at change of speed. I mean, how else do you think he's able to blow past so many defenders consistently? But it doesn't stop there, because after blowing past his defenders, he may let them catch up a little so that they are nearly on top of him by the time he attempts the layup. And this works out for him almost every time, because even if the contact is very light, Sharif turns nothing into something and just sells it well. He's great at it. But yeah, those are some of the main strategies he uses to draw so many free throw attempts, and I'm sure I could go on, but there's other stuff to talk about. Sharif had 12 assists the other day. Like, can we talk about that? Because although he had 5 turnovers to go with it, anyone who says he does not know how to take care of the ball would be flat out just telling a huge lie, because his turnovers are not sloppy. They either come from defensive pressure or just his great eagerness to find his teammates. And I think his teammates appreciate the generosity, especially the bigs. I'm not sure how many alley-oop passes to dunks Sharif has done in these 2 games, but it has been a lot, and his bigs have been eating good, trust and believe. I mean, you really cannot praise Sharif without mentioning his court vision. And once he is finally in the league, listen, do not let that man get some good bigs, or you might have a combo like LaMelo and Miles Bridges right now, or even Lonzo and Zion. Trust me, do not sleep on the playmaking. But yeah, I'm fixing to wrap this video up. But if you watched my other video on Sharif earlier this week, then you know I pointed out a few flaws that need improvement for the sake of his NBA draft stock. And the main flaw was his 3-point shooting so far, which continues to be his main flaw, because he went 0 for 4 from deep yesterday, following his 1 for 7 shooting in his debut. And Sharif is balling out for the most part, but I cannot sugarcoat anything. To really impress these NBA scouts and become a greater threat, the 3-point shooting will have to improve. If we're being honest, point guards in today's game rarely last without it, and I hope it goes up, because being 6 foot does not help his case at all. But to finish this video on a good note, just like I said in my other video on Sharif, besides this one flaw, Sharif is well on his way to be taken as a first rounder in the 2021 NBA draft. I mean, you cannot pass on it. A playmaker that can also score, isn't bothered by bigger defenders, rare passing ability. I mean, even after all the obstacles he's faced, he's playing way too good right now and has had way too much of an impact to not be taken in the first round of the upcoming draft. But yeah, that pretty much does it for this video. I appreciate y'all watching. Let me know in the comments how you feel about Sharif Cooper's play so far, how high you feel he will go in the draft. Maybe you think he'll be a lottery pick, maybe a first rounder, maybe second rounder. But like this up, share it, sub if new, all of that, and I'm out.